Anime loves its cute girls. The Ai Hoshino types with sparkles for eyes, the demure but loyal waifus like Hinata, or the sexy girls like Rangiku and Nami. However, there is a sizable market for muscular women in anime, who are often hailed by fans, men and women alike, as muscle mommies. While they might exist outside the spectrum of typical anime women, they're far from being a rarity. Several shows have created female characters who are not just strong due to mystical powers, but because they are physically really strong, which is made evident by their toned, bulked up, and ripped bodies. Some have exaggerated physiques, but that's not uncommon for male characters either, because although men can get quite muscular naturally, having the Broly type body isn't realistic for any human being. Meanwhile, other muscle mommies have a more natural looking musculature, which isn't impossible to achieve in real life. In this video, we'll talk about 10 such muscular women who can bench press you like a twig, and then make you thank them for breaking your skeleton into bits. Sandra Guts, Dirty Pear. The 1987 anime Dirty Pear is a futuristic space opera revolving around agents known as trouble consultants who professionally deal with planetary scale problems. It's not uncommon for unusual problems to pop up, but this time an unlikely kid ends up hijacking mankind's biggest space cannon. This leads to the lead pair, Kale and Yuri, dubbed the Lovely Angels, having to use their brains, bronze, and beauty to get the job done for the sake of intergalactic justice. In the 7th episode, Rigged Ring, Revenge of the Muscle Lady, Kale and Yuri get a whiff of their own enemy, a muscular woman named Sandra, who has been running an underground drug operation that the Lovely Angels have to bust. She has a grudge against Kale and Yuri, and it dates back to the time when the Angels were trainees in the World Welfare Works Association, or the 3WA. Sandra was a part of the trainees and a bully as well, but she never made the cut to become a trouble consultant, unlike Kale and Yuri, due to failing the aptitude test. She seemingly failed due to her ego and behavior. Over time, she left the Federal Association to become a criminal, which led to her becoming the head distributor of a hard muscle drug known as hustle. Previously, she had a normal physique, but the use of hustle led to Sandra bulking up like a male bodybuilder. In the episode, she is seen gymming and being strong enough to break chains with a strong tug. We also see her taking hustle and bulking up even more after she finds out that the Lovely Angels are here to deal with her. Salty and resentful about what happened in the past, Sandra takes Kay hostage and forces her into a wrestling match. Her goal is to prove her superiority and have her ego inflated by her subordinates, and for the longest time, Kay's physical attacks seem to have no effect on Sandra due to her jacked up body being her greatest offense in defense. Sandra's aggression increases as she throws Kay around and steps on her wrist, insisting she try out Hustle as well. Meanwhile, Yuri uses this time to break into the rocket that is attached to the Hustle manufacturing facility. When Sandra gets news of this, she rushes back to her facility when Kay and Yuri launch a detonator to destroy the place. Although she loses out to the Lovely Angels once again, her physical body allows her to survive the explosion. Michelle K. Davis, Terraformars. Michelle is a powerful character from the anime Terraformars that revolves around humanity's battle against an incredibly strong modified humanoid cockroach species that lives on Mars. To stand a chance against their physically superior opponents, some humans are genetically modified with bug surgery, giving them attributes of insects, such as ants, that allow them to lift 100 times their own weight. Michelle K. Davis is one such human who goes on an expedition to Mars and fights the humanoid cockroaches known as the Terraformars. She is the Squad 2 captain of Annex 1, which is an expedition spacecraft. Her father, Donatello K. Davis, was the first human to successfully undergo this genetic modification, which has a 30% survival rate. Michelle has acquired her father's powers of the bullet and has the mosaic organ, but not via the bug surgery. She considered all of Mars to be her enemy and relentlessly trained to fight and kill the Terraformars. She's a metamorphosed human who has the abilities of a blast ant since she has received the mosaic organ. This allows her to sting the humanoid roaches with chemicals, causing them to explode like bombs. The traits of the tree hopper also give her armored skin and an open circulatory system. The powers of the bullet ant allow Michelle to experience a dramatic increase in strength and durability, allowing her to sustain hits from the roaches and crush them easily. She can even throw vehicles from far away distances. She uses the bullet ant's powers to bulldoze through the Terraformars and then makes them explode using the blast ant's chemicals. She's also great at wrestling and mixed martial arts. Despite her overtly stoic and aggressive nature, Michelle has a soft spot for cute animals and cares about her subordinates a lot. Her muscular body isn't exaggerated like that of Sandra Guts. It's the type that's more humanly possible for a woman with the correct fitness regimen and diet. She has curves, along with toned and muscular limbs and prominent six-pack abs. The combination of her muscular body and beautiful face makes Michelle a top-tier muscle mommy. Maki Zenin, Jujutsu Kaisen. This uber-popular battle shonen needs no introduction. Among its plethora of interesting characters and unique curse techniques, Maki Zenin stands out more than most characters, as she doesn't possess cursed energy despite coming from an infamous but revered clan of Jujutsu. She was ostracized by her family for this, which led to her emancipating herself from the clan. Desperate to prove them wrong by getting stronger and rubbing it in their faces, Maki trained to become a pro by wielding cursed weapons. The lack of cursed energy also gave her a heavenly restriction, which allowed her to naturally possess a superhuman body, much like Toji Fushiguro. She wasn't too muscular initially in the story, or at least not to the extent to which her musculature was made evident. However, after Shibuya, Maki is visibly ripped. It's most evident when she goes back to the den of the Zenin clan and watches her twin sister die. In the Jujutsu world, twins are considered a bad omen as they are considered to be one person by cursed energy, which led to Mai having a weak cursed technique while Maki had minimal cursed energy. Despite her heavenly restriction, she was also never as powerful as Toji for the longest time, since Mai's cursed energy prevented her restriction from being as potent as it could ideally be. After Mai's death, however, Maki was awakened and became as strong as Toji as she went on to annihilate the entire clan, which was already filled to the brim with super powerful sorcerers. Around this time, she also had a look that was quite different from how she was introduced. She initially had longer hair with bangs, special glasses that allowed her to look at curses, and a seemingly slimmer body. After being burned by Jogo in Shibuya, Maki survived the ordeal due to her partial heavenly restriction, which gave her a superhuman physical body. However, she went on to have burn marks all across her arms and half her face. By the time she kills her clan, Maki has short hair with one eye, wears a tight-fitted sleeveless vest that shows off her burnt but muscular arms, and does not use glasses anymore. Yukina, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. The basis of the action anime Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is a mysterious and infectious virus that has transformed humans into aggressive undead corpses who cannot be killed unless their head is sliced off or their golden heart, protected by a layer of iron, is pierced. Yukina is an engineer and a crew member of the transport team Kotetsujo. She routinely engages in immense manual labor for her job as she has to operate heavy machinery, which has resulted in her having a muscular physique, her most notable body part being her strong back. Like Michelle and Maki, Yukina also has a realistically muscular body, which is not impossible for a woman who undergoes immense physical training. Despite her strong appearance, Yukina is compassionate and protects her loved ones. She's also always focused on her work and does not engage in idle chit-chat. Kale, Dragon Ball Super. Kale is the Universe 6 female counterpart of Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. In her universe, she's considered to be a demon warrior who appears once every millennium. Despite being born a Saiyan, Kale has a timid and passive personality in her base form, and she also sports a slender body. Once she becomes a Super Saiyan, however, Kale acquires a violent, cocky, and aggressive personality, and a much more muscular body. Her temper grows with battle, and Kale becomes more and more merciless, finding sadistic pleasure in the idea of killing her foes. She becomes even more muscular once she is a legendary Super Saiyan, acquiring a muscled body that is unrealistic for not just women, but also men, making her appearance similar to that of Broly's. Her aggressive nature grows more so in this state, so much so that she forgets her intense devotion and loyalty to her best friend, Caulifla. With time and help from Caulifla, Kale masters the legendary Super Saiyan transformation and acquires the ability to use its immense strength while retaining her true, more compassionate personality. Her muscular physique also tones down and becomes more realistic in appearance in the mastered legendary Super Saiyan mode. Zorin Blitz, Hellsing Ultimate. This dark fantasy anime revolves around the secretive Hellsing organization, tasked with fighting supernatural forces such as ghouls, werewolves, and vampires that jeopardize England. First Lieutenant Zorin Blitz is one such foe who is an artificial vampire and part of the Millennium Forces. Tall, androgynous, and muscular, Zorin Blitz is an ideal entry on the list of muscle mommies. She's a neo-Nazi who served the Major. Despite her appearance as a physical strength-based fighter, Zorin is a sadistic user of illusionary magic, as she not only kills her victims with ease, but also takes pleasure in doing so, often going the extra mile to keep them alive for a while to experience the mental torture she inflicts upon them before finishing them off. She is ruthless enough to make her opponents witness events from their traumatizing past. For example, she once showed Ceres flashbacks of her parents' murder to toy with her. Her imposing physical appearance is made even more fearsome due to her wielding a scythe and having an eye embedded into her palm, which she uses to cast her cruel illusions. This is seen most notably when the Millennium Forces try to breach into the Hellsing Manor. To bypass the minefield, Zorin uses her illusions to take out the Wild Geese mercenaries, going as far as to show one of them illusions of his dead daughter before killing them off with her scythe. During her battle against Ceres, Zorin could have easily finished her off sooner, but instead chose to torture her by slicing off her arm, scraping off her eyes, and landing a heavy blow to her spine to paralyze her. This delay, caused by Zorin's sadistic desire to play with her food, led to Ceres eventually awakening her latent vampiric abilities and eventually killing Zorin. In fact, Ceres settled the score by violently killing the artificial vampire as she dragged her face across a wall, wearing it down to a bloody nothing. Miss Monday, One Piece. The ultra-muscular Miss Monday appears early on as the Straw Hats enter the Grand Line and reach Whiskey Peak Island. The pirates are heartily welcomed by its residents, but it was all a ruse since they were the Baroque Works bounty hunters and they lured in pirates with bounties to kill them for money. The Straw Hats were fed all the food and offered exquisite wine, with the bounty hunters going so far as to make Zoro and Nami join a drinking competition where Nami went head-to-head drinking against the much larger Miss Monday, who was dressed like a nun. While all the Straw Hats had passed out, Zoro stayed alert as Baroque Works had previously tried to recruit him and he knew they were bounty hunters, which led to him taking down 100 of them. Miss Monday put up a better fight than most, but was ultimately defeated by Zoro as he crushed her skull with his palm and defeated her. Despite her strong and muscular appearance, Miss Monday wore a white and pink checkered dress that was cinched at the waist and had flowers on the strappy sleeves, making her fashion a stark contrast to her appearance. Matrona, 7 Deadly Sins. 7 Deadly Sins introduced a 9.5 meter tall giantess with Matrona, who was not just ripped and jacked to the T, but is also very proud of her warrior heritage. She used to be the warrior chief of the Eastern Giant clan and strongly believed that strength and power in battle were needed for success. She's been in the game for over 800 years and has won plenty of battles with her remarkable strength. Matrona used to be a brutal killer, but eventually left the line of work and went on to train others, such as Dolores and Diane. Her physical body and personality complement one another in the sense that the warrior learned mercy in her heart, while in her body, she's a gigantic muscular woman who's jacked with an effeminate build and possesses a pretty and kind-looking face. To top that off, she's a dedicated mother of 2. During her time as a mercenary, Matrona mercilessly took down her enemies for the paycheck and was proud enough to believe that it was better to die than to lose in battle. However, being saved by Zalpa led to her sorting her priorities out, following which she became kinder and more caring. Sakura Oami, Danganronpa. Sakura is the biggest student in her class at Hope's Peak Anatomy and holds the title of being the ultimate martial artist. She has a masculine appearance with a deep voice and is 6 foot 4 inches tall, bulky, and veiny. She's seen wearing her sailor-type school uniform, but the sleeves are ripped off to make way for her muscular arms. She's powerful and has a 400 win streak acquired in an American martial arts tournament. Ironically, she dislikes action comics due to their inaccurate representation of the arts and has a soft corner for mixed martial arts due to their tendency to incorporate all styles. She's only ever been defeated by her crush and rival, Kenshiro. Sakura wants to be the strongest person alive, but despite her aggressive appearance in dreams, she is a good-natured and level-headed schoolgirl. However, she can be overtly violent if her friends are injured. To maintain her strength, Sakura regularly trains and exercises early in the morning before a large protein-rich breakfast for the gains. Because of how her appearance leads to her being perceived, Sakura feels shy about showing her more feminine personality in front of others. This also leads to her social life taking a bit of a hit, at least for the longest time, up until she joined Hope's Peak Academy. Biscuit Krueger, Hunter x Hunter. Gon and Killua find their first proper trainer with the introduction of Biscuit Krueger in the Greed Island arc. She's a double-star stone hunter who has a porcelain doll-like appearance and dresses in frilly frocks. She takes Gon and Killua in as her students after noticing how, despite being able to use Nen, they are not very proficient with. She teaches them how to use different types of Nen based on particular situations, such as using Gyo to see better or using Ken to increase defense, as seen when the boys begin to dig faster and better after training with Bisky. However, Bisky's girly and delicate appearance isn't her real look, as she's a gigantic and extremely muscular woman. Because she hates looking like that, she prefers using the appearance of a young girl, and only switches to her original form to experience an immense boost in strength. Her cutesy appearance is also used to make her enemies underestimate her and to gather information without coming off as a threat. As a teacher, she's stern, very strict, and not averse to pushing them to their limits. Bisky's overall personality isn't just feminine, but very girly, as she loves collecting money and precious jewels. She also loves seeing younger, handsome men, so much so that she looks at men's fashion magazines and is extremely attracted to Hisoka, who she happened to see naked in the Greed Island video game. Bisky does not like being reminded of her older age or muscular appearance, and instead feels flattered when her cute look is complimented. Marvelous verdict! One of the best things about most of these muscle mommies is how their characters aren't typecast by making them masculine women who like manly and macho stuff. Despite their appearance, most of them have a feminine nature, be it subtle or an exaggerated version of hyper-femininity. This duality makes their characters interesting. They also have character arcs as they learn the value of kindness and mercy while looking absurdly muscular and powerful, because strong women in fiction are often written as stoic women who only care about fighting and straying away from anything soft. With that, today's video comes to an end. What did you think of these 10 beefy muscle mommies? Did we miss your favorite? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.